Coming up, students will be able to sit at this popular spot for the first time this semester.
And Democrats are hopeful on settling an agreement that will help the DACA dreamers. Find out why President Trump is denying that claim.
Plus, more on the destruction of Hurricane Irma with our weatherman, Jack Watson.
This is Citrus TV News live at 6, your campus news leader.
Our top story tonight, an explosion at Fort Bragg this afternoon injured 8 people. Fort Bragg is an Army base for special operations in North Carolina. I'm Claudia Bellofatto.
And I'm Noah Wolfe. The explosion allegedly took place during a training practice and is still under investigation. The extent of the soldiers' injuries are still unknown. For the first time this semester, students are able to sit on the steps of Hendrick Chapel. Earlier today, university workers removed the fence that blocked off the steps. They power washed the area and will be installing new banisters soon. Workers replaced the steps over the summer as part of the Campus Framework project. SU is hosting its annual Coming Back Together weekend. The reunion celebrates African American and Latino alumni achievement. Several high-profile people that are graduates are returning to campus, including Taylor Diggs, who's hosting a book co-signing to promote his new children's books, and Carmelo Anthony will receive the Chancellor's Medal for Philanthropy. Soledad O'Brien, who is not an SU graduate, kicks off the weekend with a lecture tonight in Goldstein Auditorium.
The poverty rate in Syracuse is continuing to rise. The latest National Census Bureau ranks the city as the 13th worst in the U.S. The report states that the overall U.S. poverty rate fell to 12.7%, which is nearly what it was before the 2008 recession. Rochester and Buffalo were also ranked in the top 25 cities.
This year, student sports fans have different student pass options to choose from than in years past. The system has 4 different pass levels with varying benefits. I found out what students had to say about the changes and how their concerns are being addressed. Officials say the new ticket package options are intended to increase student attendance and engagement at Syracuse sporting events. However, some students, including Justin Camilleri, say the exclusion of the option to buy tickets for a single sport may do just the opposite.
Ball game, if I'm going to go to a game, but as far as cost goes, if I have to buy a season pass and I'm only going to be here for a semester, that doesn't make much sense, especially since I'm not as big of a football fan.
Other students say the changes don't bother them.
No, I like going to both, so personally I was going to do it either way.
Otto's Army President Audra Linsner says she hopes the changes will help to drive more students into the Dome. Linsner says the new program is a work in progress as it's only in its first year, but Otto's Army is open to feedback on areas students want to see improved.
We are taking these comments and kind of being the middleman between the students and then the athletics department and their ticketing department as well. And so we're going to bring back these comments and say hey, what about this? What about the real logistics of this kind of thing? Okay.
Let's go Orange! Let's go Orange! I also spoke with an associate athletics director who told me that the most popular pass has been the base level student pass so far, but sales for the second level are trailing close behind. He also said there was very high student attendance at the home opener and about an average-sized crowd at the game last week. Syracuse football faces off against Central Michigan on Saturday at 3:30.
A SUNY Oswego professor is trying to develop a tool to target Alzheimer's disease. But Dr. Kim is not a medical doctor. He's actually a computer engineer. Dr. Kim says that he's trying to create a supercomputer that can sift through larger pools of data. This way, doctors can review the data from patients faster and eventually improve treatment methods. Dr. Kim also plans to hire some SUNY Oswego students to help work on the project. New developments on rape and murder charge involving a young girl in Norwich. The district attorney says that 2 men are accused of murdering while raping the girl in one of their homes back in July. The Chenango County grand jury indicted the men under a combined 12 charges, including first-degree murder and first-degree rape. Both men face life in prison if convicted.
We have seen showers throughout the day today. Our weatherman, Jack Watson, is outside to tell us if we can expect sunshine anytime soon.
Thanks a lot, guys. Well, the rain rolled in at around 11:30, 12 noon, and we've been dealing with it ever since. Today, we've had a high of 75 degrees, a warm but rainy day, but that sun is back on its way. We'll talk about that a little later. Our current temperatures here in central New York, Syracuse 72 degrees, Cortland 67, and we have tic-tac-toe with Penn, Ithaca, and Binghamton all at 70 degrees. Out there in the northeast, Rome 72 and Fulton 71. Our future radar shows these storms moving out to the southeast and out of our region by the time we hit tomorrow. Tonight's forecast, a low of 60 degrees. We might see some on and off showers with that 50% chance of precipitation. I'll have an update on Hurricane Irma and Hurricane Jose on my full forecast when Citrus TV News Live at 6 returns, guys.
Coming up, President Trump says the wall is already under partial construction. Find out how he's testing sections of the wall to see which ones he wants to build.
And hundreds of thousands of people are fleeing Myanmar. They are headed there to find safety in Bangladesh while their villages are being destroyed.
Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
What are you, superheroes?
Just four brothers who hate bullies and love this city.
Gear up, guys.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the Citrus TV newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at Citrus TV News, your campus news leader.
New details about a New Hampshire hospital shooting that left a patient dead. An active shooter was stopped by police in the intensive care unit of the Dartmouth-Hitchcock Medical Center last night. The Attorney General revealed that the shooter went into the hospital to kill his mother. He has been taken into custody on first-degree murder charges.
And President Trump and Democrats in Congress are close to a deal that would aid undocumented immigrants formerly protected by DACA. Senator Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi released an initial statement last night saying they had reached an agreement. President Trump denied the claim and tweeted that border security was still being discussed.
We are looking for extreme border security and surveillance, everything else. We also have to get the wall. It doesn't have to be here, but they can't obstruct the wall, whether it's in a budget or something else, when we're ready for.
Trump created a buzz over DACA and his plans for the border wall today. His comments on Twitter came after Democrats said they had reached a potential deal. Trump denied the deal had been made and said it would be tied to the construction of a border wall. He made more confusion by saying the deal is considering their ability to stay in the U.S. and not their citizenship.
The University of Berkeley is amping up its campus security ahead of a speech by conservative radio show host Ben Shapiro. Violence broke out on campus back in February when right-wing commentator Milo Yiannopoulos was set to speak. Last year's event was canceled after protests caused $100,000 worth of damages. Police are investigating the deaths of 8 nursing home residents in Hollywood, Florida from an air conditioning outage in the building. Nursing home officials said that Hurricane Irma knocked out a transformer that powers the AC. Mobile cooling units were set up, but they could not prevent the deaths.
From the Citrus TV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
After 2 of the most intense hurricanes in recorded history hit the United States, we are now monitoring another potential storm. Right now, Tropical Storm Jose is weak, but is expected to strengthen to a hurricane by the weekend. It is currently in the Atlantic Ocean, and it's expected to cause rough seas in the southeastern United States. But the impact is not expected to be anywhere near that of Harvey and Irma.
And most of it, I guess, outside of the Keys, where we have a very special problem, but we're working hard on that. That's a very, very special problem. That was just dead center, and but we're working very hard on that.
Right now, 68 people are presumed dead as a result of Irma. Florida officials have already spent nearly $250 million on the recovery effort, with just under 4 million people without power. The cost is estimated to be in the billions, and just for reference, Hurricane Katrina in 2005 cost $108 billion. Behind me, you can see the devastation, the construction equipment moving all of the debris out of the way, people's lives being impacted forever, their lives forever changed. You can see these images, the destruction that Irma has caused. And of course, our thoughts here at Citrus TV are with those affected by the storm.
Bangladesh refugee camps are overflowing. Hundreds of thousands of people from Myanmar's Rohingya ethnic group are fleeing their country because of violence in their villages. Witnesses say the military is burning down homes and killing villagers in response to last month's Rohingya extremist attacks. The Myanmar government says 40% of their villages are now completely empty. UN officials are describing the violence as a campaign of ethnic cleansing.
We fled into the mountains and hid there for a couple of days. When we went back to our houses, we saw everything was burned down. They killed people by stabbing, slaughtering, and starting fires.
And a religious school in Malaysia went up in flames earlier this morning. The fire killed at least 23 students and teachers. The cause of the fire is still unknown, but officials say that escaping was difficult because of barred windows and only one exit.
After the break, Mercedes' new supercar is unveiled. Find out what makes it so special.
And Selena Gomez drops a bombshell on her fans. Find out why she was in the hospital today. That's next.
In foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Hey, Hard, what's this?
That's my resignation letter.
You're resigning.
Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you eat stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit.
I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me.
Okay, but remember, it's not what you say, it's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the Citrus TV newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at Citrus TV News, your campus news leader.
Mercedes unveils its $2.7 million hybrid supercar today. The Mercedes-AMG Project One is still in its conceptual phase, but is already sold out of 275 models that it plans to make. The supercar will be a hybrid vehicle, and it will be able to reach over 200 miles per hour. Mercedes does not have a date set for when the car will be ready right now, but expect an awesome vehicle in the near future.
And Apple's highly anticipated facial recognition feature actually failed to work at a demonstration earlier today. The feature belongs to the recently announced iPhone X, which consists of an edge-to-edge screen and no buttons. Facial recognition is the only way to unlock the $1,000 iPhone. And speaking of faces, the Bank of England adds a new face to its £10 note. Novelist Jane Austen is now featured on the new bill. She joins the Queen as the only two women currently on English banknotes. Austen replaces naturalist Charles Darwin.
Earlier today, pop star Selena Gomez revealed that she received a kidney transplant from no other than her best friend, fellow actress Franzia Raisa. The former Disney star posted a picture on Instagram of her and Raisa holding hands across hospital beds. Gomez received the kidney because she was struggling with lupus. The singer explained that the disease is part of why she took some time off from the spotlight this past summer. And NASA will say goodbye to one of its oldest active crafts tomorrow. The Cassini space probe will end its 13-year mission by diving into Saturn's atmosphere. The craft was designed to test if 2 of Saturn's moons could support life. Cassini also gathered important data about Saturn's famous rings. Nobody likes a spoiler to their favorite show. That's why Game of Thrones is going to shoot multiple endings to prevent unwanted leaks. Many episodes of Season 7 broke pirating records over the summer, and the show was leaked, streamed, and downloaded illegally over 1 billion times.
Coming up next in sports, we'll fill you in on Jim Boeheim's newest recruit and Coach Q's ACC schedule for the upcoming season. Plus, Syracuse women's tennis fall schedule and a look at the weekend game and weekend tournament for women's volleyball. Stay tuned.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, babe.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
And now, your CitrusTV Sports Report.
The class of 2017 recruits haven't even started their first season in Orange, but the class of 2019 already has its first recruit. 3-star recruit Bryson Gooden announced on Twitter that he committed to Syracuse late last night. Gooden said Coach Jerry McNamara was a big factor in his decision and that the two had a great relationship throughout the recruiting process. From a future SU player to a former one, former Syracuse standout Chris Joseph signed today to play basketball for one of the top teams in France. Joseph graduated in 2012 and was a second-round draft pick to the Boston Celtics that year. Joseph is the latest of many former Syracuse players to play overseas. Coach Q and his squad learned about their ACC fate for the 2017-2018 season today. Syracuse will welcome its fair share of top talent to the Carrier Dome, including Florida State, Louisville, and Duke. The Orange traveled to South Bend to take another swing at Notre Dame to start their ACC slate. The Irish came to the Carrier Dome last year, drawing the biggest crowd in women's basketball history. Other highlights include old rival Pitt coming to the Dome as well. Syracuse volleyball is off to a much better start this season than it was last season, riding a 6-4 record into its final non-conference tournament before ACC play. The Orange head to Hofstra to play in the Hofstra A6 Invitational. It will take on Bryant tomorrow afternoon at 3:30 p.m. to start tournament play. Other matches on the weekend include Binghamton and Hofstra over the two-day tournament. Women's tennis just announced its fall schedule to prepare for the 2018 season today. The Orange will play in 4 tournaments as a team, including travel to West Point, Buffalo, and Boston. Syracuse will also send individual players to the Intercollegiate Tennis Association Northeast Regionals in October in hopes to qualify for later tournaments. The Orange are coming off an 8-14 season and an early exit from the ACC tournament. Last night's Boston Red Sox fans got quite a show at Fenway Park. In the 4th inning, 4 attendees revealed a banner that read "Racism is as American as baseball" over the green monster. The game was paused as security escorted the fans out so play could resume, since the sign was in fair territory. Both manager John Farrell and Boston Mayor Marty Walsh had something to say about the protesters and their message.
You know, we have the benefit of working in such a multicultural, multi-ethnic group. It's reflected in our clubhouse, and there's so many good things that come from that. But it's unfortunate that you see examples of it. Personally, again, I believe there's no place for it.
This banner incident, I mean, it's a banner. Somebody hung a banner. I mean, they put a banner over there, and what it sounds like, it was in support of Black Lives Matter, which was against racism, and so it's a positive. I guess in a way you could say it's a positive message. I think the wrong place to put it, because you can't bring something in Fenway Park. They don't let you do that. But I mean, they did it, so not much more we could say about it.
Last Sunday, New York Giants fans were reminded what life before their star receiver looked like. But fans today have something to cheer about. Wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. returned to the practice field after being sidelined for a month with an ankle injury. The Giants are optimistic their star will be suited up and ready to go for this Sunday's match against the Detroit Lions. The Mets and the Yankees are both in action again today. The Mets try to avoid getting swept as they finish a 3-game series in Chicago against the Cubs. Seth Lugo will be on the mound for the Mets, taking on Jen Ho-Sang in his MLB debut for the Cubs. First pitch is set for 8:05. Back in New York, the Yankees start a 4-game series at home against the Baltimore Orioles. The Yankees have won its last 4 series and look to extend that streak as Masahiro Tanaka takes the mound against Wade Miley. First pitch is set for 7:05.
And well, Nicole, it's hard to call it anything less than a dumpster fire out in Queens with what the Mets have been doing. As you said, about to get swept by the Cubs. This season is clearly a lost year. How does the team improve going towards 2018?
I mean, I'm sure anyone who's seen a game knows so many injuries this season. It's very difficult for a team to play and win without so many of their star players, both pitching and on the offense and defensive end. So I'd probably say injuries, keep some people off the DL, keep some people in the game, better results.
Easier said than done.
And on the football field, you mentioned Odell's coming back. How do you think that's going to turn out on Sunday?
I definitely think it can't do anything but help the Giants. A few big wide receivers and the running offense clearly did not turn out for the game last weekend. So hopefully with Becca back on the field, Eli Manning will be a little bit more comfortable. Hopefully get a win for Giants fans out there.
And coming back to the Hill, the SU women's tennis team comes off a really kind of a down year last season. Who's going to lead the team this year to hopeful success?
We've got 2 really big returners for this team, Gabrielle Caracciolo and Miranda Ramirez, both coming back this season. Both are nationally ranked in the top 100 right now. So between the 2 of them, it's really probably they're going to be the anchors for this team and really help them to hopefully a better season this year.
And hopefully they do turn it around.
Thanks,
Coming up, a farewell to the world's oldest panda. Stick around.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I had something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Our 5-day forecast here, a beautiful day on Friday, 78 degrees the high. It's going to start out with some clouds in the morning, but it's going to turn into some serious sunshine in the afternoon. Saturday, a pretty comparable day, sunny throughout most of the day, partly cloudy for that big game against Central Michigan in the Dome. Pretty much all sun throughout Sunday, if you'll excuse the pun there. Monday, there's a chance for some afternoon showers, a 30% chance there with an 81-degree high. And for Tuesday, the sun returns for a high of 76 degrees. Now, when you're waking up tomorrow, 67 by 9 a.m. when you're waking up for classes, 70 degrees by noon, and by 6 p.m. it warms up throughout the day to 75 degrees with some clouds to begin and warmer and nicer throughout the day, guys.
All right, Jack, I know Saturday, big game. I know you said it will be sunny, but is there any chance while we're all out tailgating we'll catch some rain?
I don't believe so. It's not in the forecast as of now. Looking at a pretty sunny day. Some clouds, maybe minor cloud coverage in the area. Other than that, it's going to be a pretty nice day against Central Michigan, guys.
Thank you, Jack.
And there's some unfortunate news for China and animal lovers around the world today. Bazi, the giant panda, died this morning of old age, according to her keepers. She was the world's oldest panda in captivity, and she was an important symbol for China. She was even the inspiration for the mascot of the first Asian Games. Bazi was 37, which is over 100 in human years.
And that's all we have today. For today, be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at CitrusTV News and visit us online at CitrusTV.com.
And Claudia, just so sad about that panda. I don't know how I'm going to sleep
Terrible.
tonight.
I saw a little video of it actually online, eating grass and wearing a crown, so it was quite the internet sensation.
Thank you.